The people, United States. War, no. Peace. Yes.
The world woke up today, January 3rd, 2026, to a geopolitical earthquake in a lightning-fast operation that has stunned the international community. The United States military has captured the sitting president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, at 2:01 a.m. local time. The silence of Caracas was shattered by the roar of low-flying aircraft and a series of massive explosions. This was the start of Operation Absolute Resolve. While the B-1 Lancer bombers and F-22 Raptors targeted military installations like the La Carlota Air Base, the real mission was unfolding at the Fort Tiuna military complex. By the legendary 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, the Night Stalkers breached Maduro's private residence. Despite being guarded by his elite Cosa Militar units, were seized in less than 30 minutes. President Trump, who reportedly watched the raid live from Mar-a-Lago, described the operation as brilliant and unprecedented. By dawn, Maduro was no longer in Venezuela. He was aboard the USS Iwo Jima, a U.S. Navy warship, being transported to face trial in New York.
How did the U.S. pull this off? This wasn't a snap decision. Operation Absolute Resolve was the culmination of a 5-month military pressure campaign that began in August 2025. According to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Don Kane, U.S. forces spent months rehearsing at a top-secret replica of Maduro's compound. The CIA played a critical role, tracking Maduro's pattern of life, even monitoring what he ate and where he slept. Maduro had been moving between different bunkers every night, but a high-level asset within his inner circle reportedly provided the final GP coordinates that led Delta Force straight to his bedroom. Trump gave the final authorization at 11 p.m. on January 2nd. The mission was executed with such precision that the U.S. reports 0 fatalities, though a few soldiers were injured in the breach.
The capture of Maduro isn't just a military victory. It's a massive legal landmark. Attorney General Pam Bondi has unsealed a superseding indictment in the Southern District of New York, charging Maduro and Flores with narco-terrorism conspiracy. The charges include cocaine importation conspiracy, alleging Maduro led the cartel of the Suns, possession of machine guns and destructive devices related to his alliance with designated terrorist groups, narco-terrorism, accusing the regime of using drugs as a weapon against American sovereignty. For years, Maduro mocked a $15 million bounty on his head. Today, that bounty is moot. He is currently being processed as a criminal detainee. This marks the first time since the 1989 capture of Manuel Noriega in Panama that the United States has successfully extracted a foreign head of state to face trial in an American courtroom. The question now is, what happens to Venezuela? In a press conference today, President Trump was blunt, stating, "We are going to run the country until a proper and judicious transition can take place. This includes securing Venezuela's oil infrastructure. Venezuela holds the world's largest proven oil reserves, and Trump has already signaled that major U.S. oil companies will be sent in to fix what he called badly broken infrastructure. However, the global reaction is polarized. While many Venezuelans took to the streets in celebration, Vice President Delcy Rodriguez has called the move a brutal attack and demanded proof of life. Meanwhile, allies of the regime, including Russia and China, have condemned the raid as a violation of international law and the UN Charter. The Pentagon is currently on high alert, prepared for what Trump calls a second and much larger attack if the Venezuelan military attempts to retaliate.
As the sun sets on January 3rd, 2026, the political map of South America has changed forever. The era of Chavismo appears to have ended absolute. Resolve will be studied by military and political experts for decades to come. Thank you for watching this special report. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for live updates as this historic story develops. This is your channel name, bringing you the facts in a rapidly changing world.
To understand why Operation Absolute Resolve happened today, we have to look back at the last decade of decay. Since 2013, Venezuela has suffered the worst economic collapse of a country not at war in modern history. We saw hyperinflation reaching over 1 million%, leading to a massive exodus of over 7 million refugees. For years, the U.S. and the international community tried sanctions. We saw the maximum pressure campaign of 2019, the recognition of alternative leaders, and dozens of rounds of diplomatic talks in Mexico and Norway. Every time, the regime stayed. The YouTube police and international observers have documented years of human rights reports from the UN detailing the phased police units and their crackdown on dissent. The turning point was the disputed 2024 election. When the US officially declared the opposition the winner, Maduro dug in his heels. By late 2025, the US intelligence community reported that Venezuela was becoming a hub for foreign adversaries to station high-tech surveillance equipment. This shifted the situation from a regional humanitarian crisis to a direct U.S. national security threat. The raid we saw today wasn't just about Maduro, it was about removing a strategic foothold of foreign influence in the Western Hemisphere.
Let's look at the sheer technical power the U.S. brought to bear last night. Military analysts are calling this the most complex snatch and grab in history. The U.S. utilized the EA-18G Growler to jam the Venezuelan S-300 missile defense systems, essentially blinding the regime's eyes. But the stars of the show were the MH-6 Little Birds and the stealth-modified Blackhawks. These helicopters are designed to be almost silent. They landed directly on the rooftops of the Fort Tiuna complex. Witnesses in Caracas reported hearing a low hum, rather than the typical thundering of helicopter planes. The Delta Force operators were equipped with GPNVG-18 panoramic night vision goggles, giving them a 97-degree field of view in total darkness. They used flashbang, technology that creates a wall of sound and light to disorient the Casa Milita guards. Without killing them, a key goal was to capture Maduro alive to stand trial. On the naval side, the USS Iwo Jima served as the sea base, featuring a full surgical suite and high security brig where Maduro is currently being processed by FBI and DEA agents.
Now, let's talk about the day after. What happens to the world's largest oil reserves? Venezuela's oil production has plummeted from 3 million barrels a day to less than 800,000. Experts suggest that with U.S. protection, the Orinoco oil belt could be back to full capacity within 24 months. This would flood the global market with cheap crude oil, potentially bringing U.S. gas prices down significantly and stabilizing the global economy. President Trump has mentioned a Marshall Plan for Venezuela, suggesting that frozen Venezuela assets billions of dollars held in US and European banks will be released to fund the reconstruction. However, there is a massive risk. Pro-regime collectivos, armed civilian militias still control many neighborhoods. The U.S. military will likely have to maintain a stabilization force to prevent a civil war between these militias and the newly formed transitional government. The YouTube, police, and news agencies are already seeing reports of small-scale skirmishes in the interior of the country. This isn't just an exit. It's the start of a massive nation building project.